So we are still wanting to get better at what we're doing with our 5-1 rotation, and so I decided to make my own video. And David is going to help me, and so are some of my other kids. They help me make a little Lego thing. And we're going to play this where we have our outside hitters, and they're in the black helmets. And then we've got our silver hitters, and those guys are our middles. And then we also have our right side hitters, and I actually gave the setter, because really the setter is the queen of the court, because she always gets to touch the ball every time. And she is the one that sets everything up and makes it awesome. So she has her scepter, so we always remember who she is. The main thing that we remember is, even though they're like the same position, you always are going to be opposite on the court. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up and see how it goes. Okay, so these are our starting positions. We have the setter in position 1, that's the server spot. So let's just go ahead and, as we've got everybody set up, we're just going to see what we're going to call these positions. I think it's been a little bit confusing. So we have the front court, which is close to the net. So here's our net. The other team is over here. We have our 10-foot line. And then we have our back court, or our back row. Only the hitters that are in the front row can jump and attack the ball in front of the 10-foot line. Just a general rule. The other thing is that this person has to make sure that he stays, A, inside the court, and B, he doesn't cross this guy or this guy. So he can't go on this side of that guy, and he can't go on this side of that guy. He has to stay in the front row. Same thing with this guy. He can't go on this side of that guy. He has to stay in this spot, and he can't go in the front of that person. So this is really important, because there's sometimes that it's just a lot more convenient to get to the spot where you're going to go. We know that this is a left side player, this is a middle player, and this is a right side player. So the back row looks awesome right now. We'll say if she was serving the ball with her scepter, this person could just be hanging out right here behind the 10-foot line, and that's their kind of home position. This guy could be hanging out in middle back, that's his position. The problem is in the front row, little white-faced guy, see how he doesn't even have a face yet? Little white-faced guy, he is our right side hitter. So whenever we're serving, middles always set it up. They are the ones that set the position. I knew you were going to. Now I'm ready. All right. So since this guy's right side player, he needs to change spots with this guy. However, they both have to make sure that their feet don't cross with the middle guy. So middle guy's in the middle, this guy's on the right side, this guy's on the left side. So as long as before she contacts that ball and hits it over, everyone has to make sure that they're in a legal position. Make sure that you're in the right position. So this guy, this position is called left back. This position is called middle back. This position is called right back. Right front, middle front, left front. The problem is, those are also positions that people play. You would play middle back. He's going to play left back. And so he starts in that position. So my husband said today, you know, you've been talking about it like it's home. Is this home spot that you go? And a lot of volleyball players talk about home. He said, but maybe you should think about it this way. Home is where you start out. That's the position that you're in rotation. So everybody's home. You know, he's in right front. She's in left front. And she happens to be in middle front. But as soon as the server serves the ball, everybody's got to go to work. So we're getting ready. We get as close as we can to our work, and the server serves the ball. And as soon as she serves it, she runs up to her work spot. This is where she's going to work. Middle back is in middle back spot. Left back's in left back spot. He's facing the wrong way, but let's turn him over. So he's facing forward. Now he's ready to go to work. These guys also. This guy is the right side hitter, so he's going over here. He's going to work, and the left side hitter, he's going to go to work. All right, so this is just simply rotation work. You just need to know You start out, we can call it our starting position. Our starting position is actually right front, but I'm going to go to work. My job is left front. Okay. So we got to keep track though, because who served that ball? The setter. So we're going to assume that they, for some reason, actually got the ball to land on our side. So we lost the serve, we lost service, and now the other team's going to serve the ball over here. So we have to figure out how are we going to set up for our serve receive. This is called serve receive. Okay. So we're going to have to, it's called stacking, apparently. We're going to have to stack our setter. We don't want the setter to serve the ball, to receive the ball. I mean, the easy way to do it, guys, the easy way to do it is just going to be to have your back row 3 players pass. But you don't cover as much of the court that way. So I always like to have 4 players pass. I also don't like the setter to pass. Why? Setter gets second ball, not the first ball. So how do we get the setter out of the way? Well, there's one way we can do it. We can just move her over here and bring this player back. See, he's a front row player. She's a front row player. She's a back row player. As long as they don't cross, that they're fine. This, she can't get behind. She has to stay in front. I mean, they could be all the way back here. As long as she's in the back of her, they're still fine. They could be all the way up at the front. And as long as she's still behind her, everything's legal, everything's fine. You have to hold this position until this person contacts the ball with the serve. Okay, so I've already done the hard part. Now we've had little Miss Setter serve the ball, and she went home, or I'm sorry, she went to work, and this person was at work. And that's not the hard part. The hard part is the fact that our front row players went to work. She went to work over here. She went to work over here. What's your job today? You are an outside hitter. That's why you have the helmet on. Okay, so you notice now we have them stacked up. Black helmets in their home spots, silver helmets, middles in their home spots, and then our right side players, the setter and the right side hitter in their home spots, or work spots in their work spots. Okay. So when the setter lost her serve because some crazy thing happened and we didn't win the whole game on just the setter serving, we have to pass. But everybody has to remember we got to go be legal again. We're still in the same rotation, and so the setter is not opposite this person. They cannot be right next to each other. They cannot. If these guys are set up in the right spot, these guys know that they're going to have to go back. So we're going to go back to our original rotation, our actual rotation for this. And we're going to figure out how we're going to serve. The way I like to do it is I like to take the setter up to the front. And you guys jump up and get out of the way. I do not, repeat, do not want this player up at the net. Basically, if they're up at the net, they're blocking my passers from being able to see. This is not a good thing. We do not want Lord Business over here getting the ball over this person's head and landing it back here. This person's going to be in the way. So you're going to be off to the side because you're going to want to run. You're going to want to run out of the way to go get behind here to hit in a minute. So now we have these 4 players that are going to be able to pass the ball. So let's see how we want to do this. The best way to do it if we want to get all 4 is going to be take our middle and go over here. So long as she doesn't cross, with her, it's totally fine. These guys are in front and behind each other, and as long as she's ahead of her, totally fine. They can even do all this stuff they want. They don't have to worry about left, right. They only have to worry about back, front. So we'll move this back row player back. And this front row player is going to come. She's white-faced lady. She is right side player, but she's going to hit from the left side first. So Lord Business smacks the ball over that. And immediately our setter moves to the 2.5 spot. It moves to that spot right between right front and middle front to set the ball. And this person comes outside the court to come and hit. We get a pass, a set, and our middle hitter is going to be ready to hit. Our right side hitter is going to come outside to hit. We set the ball and smack it. And now everybody needs to go to work. The ball's on the other side of the net. Everybody needs to go to work. Right side player runs over to the right side. She's in the front row. Setter remembers she just served. Obviously, I'm in the back row. So she goes back to her spot right behind the 10-foot line. This outside hitter didn't hit the ball, but she knows she's going to get set up later in this, so she runs over here. And middle just moves up to her spot. Back row, you guys just slide over. Back to your spots. We're back and home. Sorry. It's going to be hard to transition. Back to work. Everybody's working. This is our defensive position. If the ball comes back, we set it up. We switch spots again. Everybody transitions back off the 10-foot line. Let's see. So everybody comes off the 10-foot line. We get a pass, a set, an attack. Everybody kind of comes up and covers. I'm not going to be able to do coverage because I'm not that coordinated with the Legos. And the ball gets hit over the net, and everyone goes back to their work spots. Their work spots for defense. All right. All right. Next rotation. Well, let's think about this though. We won. We hit that ball over. Lord Business could not retrieve it. It bounced off, and we got the point. So we know the setter served, and she's going to rotate. She's going to move into middle back. But everybody has to remember at this point, just because I just finished here doesn't mean that this is my spot that I was in rotation. In fact, I know that I wasn't because the setter's my opposite. If the setter just got to the back row, that means I just got to the front row. So this is my spot. And this guy would say, I know that the setter is right next to me, so I better be right here. And so this is where we were in rotation. This is the big fail spot. This is what happens is that once we're playing, once we're hitting the ball, we've got a long volley. Right side player got to hit it once. We tipped it over on a second hit once. They got it back to us. Then we hit it on the left side. Then we win. And everybody goes, oh, shoot. Where were we? Who serves next? I don't even know. So that's where somebody on this court has to go, I know that I am in right back, or I know that I'm in middle back, and you go to your spot and you pull your next door neighbor with you. Everybody's going to move together. So we're going to see the setter move to middle back. That's going to push our middle back over. This is going to push the left front up to the front. These guys are going to realize, well, if the left front's coming to the front, that means I got to go to the back row. So I'm going to pause it and I'm going to move everybody. Okay, so this is where we are in rotation. The setter just moved over one and the middle moved over one. The left front player who was in the right front now has rotated to the back, which automatically pushes her counterpart to the front row. There's only one black helmet and only one silver helmet in the front row at all times. There's only one silver helmet and one black helmet in the back row at all times. And so if you just can keep an eye on the fact that you got to be opposite your buddy's serving, then you know that you're now a front row player. Or if your buddy's going to the front row, you know that you're now the server. You can't lose track of that. Okay, so we're going to have this guy serve. This is our second ball. Now, the nice thing about the back row, So we're going to serve. The nice thing about the back row is that this guy can be anywhere along the back line, and it doesn't matter. If you're out of bounds, so he could be all the way over here, and you don't have to worry. And you don't have to worry about being out of rotation with these two guys. He's outside the court. She's outside the court. We don't have to worry about her. So we're just worrying about these two. This silver hat, hopefully you remember, is our middle player. So she's going to set up. She's going to set position. And then this girl is our setter because she's got the scepter, the center scepter. Okay, so she is going to her spot, and they're in rotation. This person is right back. Believe it or not, they're outside the court. You don't have to worry about the setter or the server. This girl is in middle back, and this girl is in left back. So they're in rotation. She can go ahead and set up in middle. She can go ahead and set up in right. A lot of times our problem is we have somebody that's a left side player that goes ahead and serves from that side because it used to only be legal to serve from that side. But anyway, they serve from that side. They serve the ball over. They walk into the court a little bit and they just admire that beautiful serve that they just did. And they forget, oh, I forgot, I need to go to work. I don't just get a serve today. I also have to go to work. Sometimes it might be better to serve from this side if you have difficulty remembering that you have a job and you need to go to work. Okay, so we also have to look at our front row. Our left front happens to also be our outside hitter, so she's already at work. Our right front, however, needs to go to work, and our middle needs to set up. She needs to set her position, everybody else goes around her. Okay, so we're going to hit the ball over to the other side, and everybody's going to go to work. Right front goes to right front, right side hitter goes to right front. Our black helmet guy is our left side hitter, and they're going out here. And everybody's already in position. Beautiful. Same thing, we've got a back row setter, so if the ball comes back over to our side, say it's a free ball, so everybody has to jump off the net. The second ball's hit way back here, and our business, we know he's just going to throw it over. He's not going to be able to attack it, so we don't need to worry about blocking. So we're just going to move over here a little bit, but the setter knows, gosh, I got to be ready. I got to be ready for that hit. So she runs up to her spot, which is right here, 2.5. Right side hitter goes out here to hit. And I also like to, I'm sorry, I said outside hitter. I actually like you to set up even a little bit outside the court so you can really run in and get some power when you're hitting. But right here on the line is your kind of job. So the ball comes over here, it gets passed, set, attacked. I'm not going to show you that because I'm not that good with Lego movements. And everybody goes back to work, back to your positions for defense. Right setter. Just because you got to stand by the net to set the ball doesn't mean that you don't have to remember. I'm in the back. Oh, lost me here. I'm in the back row. So make sure that you go to your back row. And then everybody goes back to their positions. Okay, for some inexplicable reason, we lost the serve. So everyone has to do that memory thing of, where's my spot again? Because now I'm at work and I need to go back to where I actually am in rotation and then move one. So we're going to figure that out. We know that our setter did not serve. This guy served. So this guy was in right back. So that means that our setter was in middle back. And then if our setter's in middle back, that means that our right side hitter's in middle front. And we're back in our legal rotation. This is the hardest part, guys. Trying to remember after you've run around and you've all gone to work and everybody's back in their places where they go to work. Now they have to remember that they have to go back to where their rotation is for the beginning of that serve or the beginning of that serve receive. If you forget this, it throws everything off. Okay, so we lost the serve that the outside hitter was serving and we lost the serve. So now we have to figure out how we're going to serve receive. Easy, totally easy. Setter, you can't pass the ball, so you have to hide. And your way of hiding in the back row is always hiding behind a player at the net. Sometimes I might pull a player off the net just because they're like an amazing passer and I'll make you like run from way back here or something just to be, difficult. But most of the time your job is to go up to the net. So whatever position you're in, you're going to go up to the net and hide. You remember how I had you hide up in the right front when you were in right back? Well, guess what? You're in middle back, so you are going to hide in middle front. You're going to hide behind whoever is in that middle front position. And as you can see by your scepter, it's your opposite person. It's not the middle front. You have to make sure that it's the person that's playing the outside right. That's your opposite, okay? So you're going to come up here and kind of hide behind her. Now this girl isn't going to be blocking everyone at the net because that's obnoxious because then you can't really see. So you're going to stand almost pretty much, you're going to be down, kind of hiding, crouching down, but you're going to be pretty much in the position where you're going to be setting the ball. Your middle lovely person here is going to get back here so she can pass, but it's also going to be a fabulous spot for her to attack the ball from the right side. So you could back set to her and do something rocking awesome over there. This person who is our left back is going to kind of, our right back is going to kind of hang out over here. This person's going to move over. They're kind of splitting the back. And then the person that's in left front who happens to unbelievably play left front as her work, as her job, she's opposite, and she's going to come back here and pass. So Lord business, if you wouldn't mind. Passing or serving the ball whack. As soon as the ball is whacked, and we know that this person knows, for example, it's coming over here, she can start to move out where she's going to go. She's got to work. She's got to hit the ball. Setter's going to go to, forget about the head. The setter's going to go to her position. This right side hitter for now is going to hit middle. And then this middle is going to hit behind. So we're going to pass, set, we'll let the middle back set. Oh, it's a shock to everyone. They have 3 attackers, what? And then they hit the ball over the net. And now everybody has to go to work. You were doing someone else's job just for that one moment. Now everybody has to go to work. Where are you going to go? Think about it for a second. All right, setter, you are a back row player, so don't be silly and stay up at the net. You're just going to mess things up. So you need to move back to your work. This back row left side player is going to have to go to work over here. This is where your job is. This guy, white face guy, this, you are the right side hitter, so you're going to right. Silver helmet man / girl, your middle, outside hitter, you don't have to go very far. So everybody's back at work. So what, you know, I did the transition. Everybody goes back to work. You guys got that. Setter, you remember when the ball's on our side of the net, you're up here because you're passing, or because you're just going to set. You're going to take that second ball. When the ball's on their side of the net, get your tail back behind the 10-foot line because you're a back row player. And if you don't, and you're standing right here, this whole entire part of the court is not protected. So you have to remember, when the ball's coming over, you're a defensive player. But once it's on our side, you are always going to get the second ball. One last thing. If you are getting the second ball, it's probably, if you're getting the first ball for some reason, like say somebody tipped it and you had to hit the first ball, little white face guy, you, right side hitter person, are almost always chosen because you have good hands. You are going to be the second hit. You're the backup setter. And you're going to set up the middle player or the outside hitter. I don't like it when you send it over without trying to set it up. So we want to make sure that we set it up. Okay, so fabulous. We're back home. Now we have to figure out where we are going from here. So let's take a second and we'll think about, gosh, who served that? Okay, it was a trick question. Lord Business actually served that. But the person that served before Lord Business was dun-da-da-da, her. So she knows that I was in right back and the setter was in middle back and the middle was in left back, which means that these guys need to switch trade spots so that we're back to being opposites. So you just have to remember in your head before you rotate, it's time to rotate, Lord Business hit the net or something. And so we have to realize it's time for us to move. If the middle's going to the front row, that means the middle is going to be the server. This means middle back, right back, left front, middle front, right front, right back. So we'll go ahead and make those moves. Okay, so I moved them. And well, that's lovely and helpful and everything. You don't really have time, though, in a game for everyone to go back to where they were in that rotation and then move one spot counterclockwise to the left if you're in the back and to the right if you're in the front. You don't have time for that. You just have to move to your spots and then you have to go to where you're going to go to serve the ball. So we know that this guy is the middle. Middles always set the position. Everybody else just gets out of the way. Middles set the position, and then they figure out what they're going to do. Right front right now is a lucky ducky. She doesn't have to move an inch because she can just set up in her spot. Left guy, hey, nice to see you, knows that she's going to have to wait until the serve is contacted. Sorry, Lord, business. She's going to have to wait till the serve is contacted before she moves because, you know, legalness. So this person's going to go back to serve. Now we have the issue of we've got our left side player and our right side player that need to switch spots for the back row. So we are going to wait until the serve is contacted, and then these two guys are going to move. This guy is in middle. This guy or girl, I guess, except our lady, is opposite white face person. Right, left back, right front, middle, middle, right back, left front. So we know we're in the right rotation. Serve. Everybody goes to, sorry, Lord, work. Center goes to her job while they're passing the ball. Right side goes to her job. Middle hangs out here. Left side goes to her job. Setter, you are a back row player. So you remember that they might set it over to you. You might have to pass it. But if they don't, hopefully they don't, and they pass it to someone back here, as soon as you see the balls going back there, you go up to your work. All of these players, when the ball's on this side, you get your tails back to the 10-foot line. Or, you know, if you're in Europe, the 3-meter line, whatever. And you guys are all going to pass the ball. Setter's going to set it. We're going to attack from the outside, power it, and then everybody goes back to work. You're going to your defensive spots. And setter, remember, you're in the back row. Get back to your spot. Left hand's up, middle's over. Easy peasy. Okay. Okay, here we go again. This is the hard part. You have to remember where you were, who served. Well, I remember that our silverhead guy served, so she's in right back. So that means that she is in left front. And I remember they changed spots. So if we were to think in our heads, golly, what rotation are we in? If I was going to draw a picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what would it look like? Lefts are in middle. The setter's in left back. Okay, so now that we know where we were in rotation, we have to figure out how we're going to serve. This is the problem. This is the step we often skip. We don't realize that we have to know where we are. Who served? Where am I? If that person served and I know that I'm in right front or left back. Now, little miss setter, you cannot pass the ball because, you know, we need you to set and stuff. So you are going to come and stack up here, and you're going to try to be like paper thin so that people don't like, you're going to turn sideways so people can't see by you and all that. And I like to set 4. So these two people kind of split the back. I like to do maybe one a little bit up and one a little bit back. Just, you know, cover more spots. And we'll just have this, the person that's in middle front, which is the left side hitter, she's going to come over here, pass, and get the short stuff, and then the right side hitter is going to go there. We're all still legal. As long as she's behind her, we're good. As long as this person is to the right of this person. Problem is, sometimes this player, I will not say names, likes to like hang out at the net here and block her passers from being able to see, so that Lord Business could like throw right over her head and land behind her and no one saw that. So just remember, you make a better door than you do a window, and when we're in serve receive, we want windows. So you are going to get out of the way. You could back up a little bit off the net. You could take like the amazingly short serves or the ones that hit the net and might fall on the ground. You can kind of pick those up. But in this particular case, the way that I like to do it, this is an outside hitter. So she is actually going to hit out here after the pass. So Lord Business is going to serve over the ball. We'll just make it very slow motion. And that person's going to pass. She runs over to the middle of the court where she's going to get a perfect set. This person's going to go outside. The middle is going to hit middle. I know, it's crazy. And so we have a pass, set, smack, and everyone goes to work. Setter, you're still in the back row. Go to work. Go to work. Go to work. And go to work. All right, so same thing. Setter moves up when she needs to set the ball, and she goes back as soon as the ball goes over the net, because we need our blocker to be able to block. Setter, you can't stand at the net and block because you're in the back row. If you jump over the net, they're going to call us as a back row attack or back row cheater. So we don't want to be cheaters. So we're just gonna, that's the back row stuff. You guys should be kind of used to that because we were running a 6-2. And so all the time our setters were in the back row. But the funny thing is the 5-1 part of it, this is where it gets a little easier. It actually isn't better because we have less attackers, but it's easier, which kind of makes it better in some ways. So everyone has to remember, golly, where are we in rotation? So think really hard. Who served that before Lord Business smacked it at us a little bit ago? Okay, guys, this is where we were. Remember, the middle hit the ball. So the middle served that last ball. Yes, Lord Business served in between, but that's where we were legally in rotation. That's why we were set up the way that we were. That's why the setter was up here. This is a little tip. If she's up here hiding, that means she's the next person that's going to be in the front row. And if that's the case, that means our right side hitter is going to be the next person that's in the back row. Again, this is something that becomes second nature after time goes on, but you have to really think about it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and rotate just like I said. So I'm just going to lay the guys down because it's faster. Oh, your poor hair. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we can see our setter because she's got a scepter. Okay, so now we have to figure out what we're going to do for our rotation. And it is her serve. So it actually isn't too hard because if you look at our back row, look what's going on. We have the middle back is in middle back and the left back is in left back. Oh my gosh, so easy. Okay, so the front row, not so much. You've got the middle front, who's a middle front, and she always sets the position anyway, so that's easy. But our left side is going to have to trade spots with our right side because they go to work at different spots. And the thing is that you can like cross almost all the way, but you have to have like 1 foot behind. So you just don't push it too much. But when I say get closer, I don't mean like go snuggle them or anything. I just mean there's an imaginary line that's going off of her body. And you get close to to that line as you can and make it legal. You don't want to get past it. So these girls are, there's actually a bisecting line that's going down that middle blocker, and they're both on either side of the imaginary line. They have to worry about these lines that are going this way for their friends that are in the same row as they are, front row or back row. Like, you know, they can't cross those sideways lines. But then there's an imaginary line that's going this way, parallel with the 10-foot line, that you have to keep in mind when you're thinking about your back row players compared to the front row. So as of right now, we're ready to go. If stop laying down on the job, we would go ahead and serve the ball. Smack, and everybody's gonna go to work. Setter, or this is not a setter now. This is a back row right side player. The nice thing about being the back row right side player is it's really easy. Easier than playing left back actually, because the setter pretty much always stays at the net, so you pretty much always stay at the 10-foot line. You might go back a little bit, but you're pretty much always going to be at the 10-foot line. Okay, so everybody's at work, and she'd served the ball, piece of cake. Now we have to remember, okay, we got to do serve receive. Well, think about it. Who served last? Where are we in rotation? I want you to think for just a second. Right, our right side player served that ball. So this is where we were in rotation. So how are we going to pass now? This is actually pretty easy because the setter's in the front row. So she doesn't even have to worry about getting out of the way for passing. These guys will just come back. I like to pass with 4 players back. Plus, you've already got a head start on attacking the ball. So we're going to move these 2 back here to split the back, and this girl back here. Middle, you make a better door than you do a window, turn sideways, catch anything short you can. These 2 are both in the front row, so really she can be up at the net if she wants to, kind of bending over. She can be as close to her spot as she wants in this particular case. She's the queen of the court when she's the setter in the front row because she needs to be as close as she can to her position. She's actually in left front. You can see that she's over halfway over. So it's like when she moves, she has power over the people that's next to her. So she's actually going to move, and she forces this girl to move because she can't be on the other side of her. But as you see, if they're over here, sorry, my hands are in the way. If they're over here, this girl also has to be moved over. It's like imagine like a force field line that's preventing you from crossing lines with that other person. Okay, so she's up here at the net so long as she is on the right side, or the left side in this case, then we're good. So these guys are all passing, and the setter now only has 2 hitters because she's the front row player. So she's going to stay at the net all the time. Really, the only time that she's going to get off the net at all is when the left side player is hitting and she comes and covers a little bit, but it's not really good. Mostly just be at the net. All right. So we are, Lord Business, if you would oblige us, passing the ball. Everybody's going to their hitting spots. Now, the setter, there we go. The setter only has these 2 attackers because this girl's a back row player. So she's going to pass the ball, set it maybe to her left side player, smack, ball's over on the other side. Everybody needs to go to work. So middle, come up here. Setter, guess what? You're in the front row now, so you don't have to do anything much. Just stay at the net. You're going to be a blocker now. But you can show your power by saying, I'm going to block. Okay, so now we have, this is our work position. Everybody's back. You're familiar with this. The nice thing about this is once the ball goes over, everybody's familiar with their job because you know what a left side player does because you do it all the time, or you know what a right side player does because you do it all the time. So it's nice to have that specialization. The ball comes over the net. These guys are going to transition up a little bit, but in our middle and our outside hitter are going to be ready to attack the ball. Outside hitter, CO, you're outside the line because you're going to run in and smack the ball. Anyway, so we're going to pass the ball. Setter doesn't move. That's why this person stays there. Setter sets the ball. We attack it. Really, it's just this left side player that keeps on going back and forth, back and forth. And then middle back moves back to the middle. And of course, we won that one because it was a great job. Okay, so now we have to figure out. We lost that, or we win that one. So I think we're going to go ahead and rotate to the next position. Think hard about where we were, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go next. Okay, so this is where we were. That means that we need to rotate. The right front player was our outside hitter, and she's going to the back row. If she goes to the back row and everybody else is moving over, we know that our black helmet outside hitter is going to have to come to the front row. Middle is going to end up going outside. So we're, at this moment, we're actually legal. We've got left, middle, front, left, middle, left, middle, right, left, middle, right. Now you just need to figure out where you are in position. Well, the funny thing is that this outside hitter can be anywhere along this line. Remember, she can be anywhere along that line, and she doesn't affect those other 2. So they can just line up the way that they need to line up. And then in the front row, since the server is a left side hitter, we know that the server is an outside hitter. We know that the left front, opposite of the server, is the outside hitter as well. So she can be up at the net defending. She's already at work. She has like 0 commute today. And then our server, our setter, gets to run over. Be where she is. Serve. Wait. Serve. That means I need to go to work. And we're all ready. Okay, well, we lost the serve. So now we have to figure out where are we going to go. We have to remember what position we were in. Well, this girl is the server. That means that she's here. That means that she's in the middle. That means that she's in middle. She's in right. Well, the beautiful thing about remembering that is that the setter's in the front row. So now we just decide who is our better passer. Well, normally it's the outside hitter, but we have some really awesome passers that are middle hitters, so we could decide one or the other. Basically, if it's going to be this hitter, we're going to have a cup that looks like this. See passing that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. With this girl deciding if she's gonna talk to the setter and be like, hey, set me one behind you or set me a one in front of you, whatever you guys decide that you want to do on a perfect pass. And the setter's basically just in her setting spot ready to go. So easy, easy. Right, the front row players are boom, boom, boom. The back row players are boom, boom, boom. Setter in the front row, piece of cake. Problem is, you miss out on an awesome hitter in the front row, but you do what you have to do. Okay, so Lord Business passes or serves the ball. He's like not doing so well over here, but serves the ball. We get a pass. We get a set. She actually asked for a back set, so she's going to hit it over, and everybody's going to go to work. And if you're standing over here and you're wondering, where's my work again? You are an outside hitter, which means you are a back player, so you need to go over here. Middle back, you're good. All right. Next rotation. So that was serve receive. Now we're going to go to service for the next one, but we have to ask ourselves, who served that last one? Okay, that was the hardest part, guys, but if you remembered that she was the one that served that ball, then you remember that if we're going to rotate, the next person is going to be this middle hitter. This girl's going to come up to the front row. She's going to trade out. So we're rotating this way, as always, and we're going to move those positions now. Seriously, the hardest part is going from being at work to remember. It's kind of like if you go to work and if you win and it's your serve, then you get to go back to the same house at the end to start over. When the serve starts again, you go back to the same house and then you go to work again. And then you go back to the same house and you go to work again. It's awesome. When you're winning serves, every time you go back to the same house, you go to work again. Here's the problem. Then you lose the serve and it goes over to Lord Business's side. And now you pass the ball like you're at a new kind of feeling of a position, and then you go to work again, and then say Lord Business wins again, and then you go to that same old position, and then you go to work again, and then it's time to you get the ball back, and you have to, it's like you moved. You have to go back to your starting, but it's a totally new starting position. It's like if every time that you went to work, you had to go back to a different home. You had to go back to a different house. You had to go back to a different apartment every day. That's where we're getting confused on our team. So you have to remember where you are in this rotation while you're at work. That's the hardest part. Like putting it in your head. I'm in middle back. 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 So let's rotate. Okay, ladies, this is what the rotation looks like. But we're not going to do that, obviously, because she's going to be serving. And so we're going to figure out what we want to do for setting up. If you remember this little girl right here, even though she's, in the right position legally, and they're in the right position legally, this is not where they're going to work. So they want to get as close as they can to work. but neither one of them has precedent over the other one. So this girl is going to switch with this girl. They're going to get up to the 10-foot line because this girl's just going right here. This girl's just going right here. So they're both as close as they can be legally. They're not crossing each other. Sometimes they hold hands and pull each other over, like, I don't know, like a head start or something. It looks like great teamwork. Since the middle's serving, we know that the middle is in left front. Keep track. Who's your opposite? And then you're going to come up to the front row. You set the position because you're in the middle, and then the left person is going to bend over, and she's going to kind of cross beside. Actually, if she wanted to stay standing, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because in this case, it is a better case if we're a door than we are a window. We don't really want them to see. That's why we stand at the net with our hands up like this when we're serving. So setter, you're up at the net because you are a defender. So, okay, here's the ball, and it goes, and everybody goes to work. Go to work. This is your place where you do your job when you're in the front row center. Go to work. Go to work. Middle, don't forget. I know it was a lovely serve, but you don't just get to sit there and watch it. You need to go to work. Okay, so the ball comes over the net. People transition off. If I'm starting, I'm just going to lay you down because this is long. Pass. Attack. Everybody goes back to their defense position and they go to work. All right. We, of course, won that. So now we have to remember who served. She served. So she served. Where were we? This girl was over here. This girl was over here. This girl was over here. She looks and sees her opposite is right there. She sees her opposite is right here. And of course, her opposite is always serving. Whoever's in left front, your opposite is always serving. If this person is on this side of your middle front, and you see a middle serving, they are out of position, which means you are out of position. If the refs were paying attention, which they aren't yet in our league, hopefully at some point we get to the point where they do pay attention to that kind of stuff, they would do this sign. That means you're out of rotation. So go back and be legal. It's legal. As soon as the ball gets smacked, as soon as she hears it with her hand, everybody can run to their spots to work. And hopefully you're really fast, because if they send it over on the first ball, you need to be ready for it. Okay, so ball goes out of bounds, or we don't get it. Now we have to decide, okay, what's our serve receive? Let's go back as fast as we can to the position that we know that we're in. We know that she's here. 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 Okay, so if that's the case, setter's in right front, what are we going to do for passing? Probably the best thing to do is going to be to use our middle hitter over here. Well, it is for us anyway. To use our middle hitter over here to pass. Oh, so easy. See that setter in the front row thing? We don't get a third attacker, but the trade-off is it's really, really easy. In this case, we could do one of two things. We could have this right side, this left side hitter right here, kind of way over here, way away from that setter, so that she can come and attack outside, and this girl, our middle, she can go ahead and attack from the middle. So we'll just do that. Lord Business, can you pass it can you serve for us? Okay, pass. She of course turns because she's ready to set. And then as soon as someone else is passing, they go to their, while the ball's in the air, they go to their attacking spots. Set. Outside hit. And then everybody goes to work. Think about it. Where are you going to work? If you have a silver helmet, there's only one option. You're in the middle. If you have a black helmet, there's only one option. You're in the left. If you have a white face or a scepter, you're on the right side. Or your hair's going off. Right side. Okay. Okay. So Lord Business fell over on the job and the ball landed on his side, and so now it's our turn again. What happens is our setter is going to go back to the starting position that she was in the very beginning. And everybody's going to move over one. Except for, look at this. Oh my gosh, we've already gotten confused. If the setter is serving and everybody else got confused, can we rebuild this? We know that if the setter's serving, then we know that the right front player has to be in the front row. Okay, so this is our rebuild. The setter is serving. We know that silver helmet person served last time. And so she is in middle back. We know that this guy right here is in right front or left front. So she's got to trade spots. And we're back to the beginning. We serve the ball and everybody goes to work.